Hello and welcome. You're listening to Jonathan Mathis, the sports judge. There are a variety of choices out there and a lot to choose from. So I thank you for choosing me and taking time out of your day to hear me give you my sports takes. Okay, let's get into it. The rivalry between the Buffalo Bills and Kansas City Chiefs, if you want to call it that. I don't really consider it a rivalry, but it's a word to use because we like the storyline. But anyway, it was another historic, thrilling AFC Championship game featuring the Buffalo Bills and the Kansas City Chiefs. And for the Bills, the agony, the heartbreak, the misfortune, the constant letdown year after year, losing once again to the same team that they can't solve. The Chiefs, once again, beat the Buffalo Bills 32-29. And of course, Kansas City is heading to its third straight Super Bowl. For the losing team, there's this certain feeling of dejection you feel. This was supposed to be the year. This was their year. This was Josh Allen's time to shine and finally break through and win the Super Bowl. I like Josh Allen, and I have to wonder when he'll finally have that one moment where he finally overcomes countless roadblocks. I truly feel for Allen, but eventually he'll get there, but will have to beat Mahomes and the Chiefs. And maybe one year he'll finally win that big game when they meet. I mean, think about it. He comes close, but falls short each time and saw his season come to an end in heartbreaking fashion. His fierce battles with Mahomes have become the stuff of legends. But Mahomes just has his number. It was genuinely a close game, competitive, and Allen gave it his all again and left everything out there. If someone out there is still holding on to their narrative that this guy can't get it done in the postseason, I'm fascinated by how your mind works. It's just like that narrative that the refs helped the Chiefs being pushed to diminish the greatness of the team. If you still think Josh Allen is not that quarterback to get Buffalo over the hump in the AFC, it's a you problem. I hate that he takes the blame for another tough loss. How you not root for a guy like Josh Allen? A fierce competitor? A true leader, a guy who will put on his Superman cape, put his body in jeopardy, and make Superman plays. And yeah, this game was intense all the way through. It's not as if Buffalo got blown out and humiliated. They put up a fight and lost. There's no question Allen had the best season of his career. And this season, he did a terrific job of taking care of the football. Played clean as hell this season. That guy is so heartbroken after that loss. You come that close only to fall once again and to the same team. By the way, I was wondering if you saw the same thing I saw on Sunday night. Everything was about Josh Allen beating Patrick Mahomes. It was a legacy-defining game for Allen. So much pressure upon yourself to get it done. I thought maybe this would be the year. But Allen, listen, he played considerably well, although he made multiple throws that were questionable. So I look at this Bills team and say, you know what? Considering what Allen was up against, he played a great game. I think he could have used his legs more. He barely ran the ball and just stood there like a stick. And whatever the offensive game plan was, you can't hold that against Allen. Joe Brady and Sean McDermott deserve the blame for this loss. The play calling in critical situations was an epic fail. It was atrocious. The one thing I can get on Josh Allen for is not realizing that Spags would call a blitz in critical moments. I don't want to see anyone degrading Josh Allen. I truly feel terrible for him. I don't want to hear anything bad about Josh Allen. I will no longer stand for the Josh Allen slander. By the way, Joe Brady, offensive coordinator, has a lot of times this year helped shed a lot of Josh Allen's turnovers and mistakes, but he didn't take enough shots in this game. It was a fantastic year for Joe Brady and the Buffalo Bills. But on the biggest night, when they needed him to pull some of the best plays out of his bag, Brady was completely pedestrian. No creativity, poor execution. And usually the team that executes wins. They're not going to be the team to beat, so to speak, playing conservative. If all you can come up with is to push Josh Allen from behind, then you're lacking. To me, he essentially throws the game away with his dumb pushes that weren't working, obviously. Brady and McDermott got in the way of Josh Allen's greatness. And when it comes to playoff time, the Bills find ways to cough it up, to blow their chances, in large part because of play calling. And yet, we're sitting here looking at Josh Allen as if he's incapable or just not made for the playoffs. Again, credit Joe Brady for mitigating a lot of risk this year. And a lot of it was Josh Allen as well, minimizing a lot of risk this year by his style of play. With the game on the line, Allen put the ball where it needed to go. If anything, his pass catchers let him down. You can only put the ball in perfect spots for your receivers to make plays. They didn't catch them. For Buffalo, everything was hard or seemed in a way complicated. This game was not about the refs. It was not about being on the Chiefs' side, and favoritism didn't play a role. It was about one team outperforming the other team in big moments, making those big plays, and one team that was just fundamentally poorly coached. Buffalo trailed 21-10 in the first half. They score a touchdown, make it 21-16, kicked an extra point. There's a penalty on the play. Sean McDermott takes the point off the board, decides to go for two. They don't get it. Later in the second half, Buffalo scores again to go up 22-21. Things get interesting. Here's Buffalo's chance. It could be their year. And again, they go for two and don't get it. That was the difference. That was the difference in the game. You were taking points off the board and you end up losing. And by the way, a play that will be replayed in infamy, fourth down around the 2-minute warning, there's pressure on Josh Allen. He throws it up. The ball literally sails through Dalton Kincaid's hands. It was a hope and prayer kind of heave. He just threw it up there. I'll be transparent when I say Sean McDermott is the reason they can't get over the hump. The mature thing would be to move on from him. Missed opportunities, predictable and unimaginative play calling, the poor game plan wasn't conducive and didn't help Josh Allen in certain situations. The play calling just seemed weak. Nothing really creative, and failed plays repeated over and over again, producing the same results. Going for two in the first half for no reason was a bad decision by a guy who has been around long enough to know you don't go for it in that situation. Chasing points to start after that, continually getting stuffed on third and fourth and short. I don't know why they didn't keep running James Cook. I mean, that's been the winning formula for them all year. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it done. I think Sean McDermott is a fantastic coach. I'm not saying he's a terrible coach, but his time in Buffalo may have run its course. It may be time to part ways with him. Eventually, everybody has their own expiration date. That's the reality. There's an expiration date on everything. And maybe it's just that time in which you start thinking about a new head coach. Milk spoils during its shelf life. The same can be said about head coaches in the NFL. Even if you have a winning record and guide the team to the AFC Championship year after year, if you're coming up short, you have to have the courage to go a completely different direction. And vice versa. For as good of a stint as McDermott has had, dismissing him doesn't mean there's not other opportunities out there or that he'll never coach again. It could just mean that he needs a fresh start, a new mindset, and movement in a new direction. That's not a bad thing. It just means he has worn out his welcome. This happened to Andy Reid when he was coaching in Philly, where he was for a long time, enjoyed some success, but eventually his time ran out there. The Eagles part ways with him, he's gone. Get another job in Kansas City, where he's already won 3 Super Bowl titles with the Chiefs. The same Andy Reid who has outcoached Sean McDermott more than enough times. I just hate to see it because the longer he stays on as the coach, Buffalo, God, you have a talented quarterback whose prime is being wasted because of coaching. It sucks. And I'm not looking at Sean McDermott right now like, why aren't you on the hot seat? You've gotten way too comfortable occupying an office, walking down that sideline every Sunday. Even though you have a pretty decent record percentage-wise, you have nothing to show for it in the postseason. What I'm saying is that McDermott has clearly shown us more than I care to count that he's not taking this team further than what he has already taken them. He has taken the team as far as it can go. A change could make a huge difference. Marty Schottenheimer, the father of Brian, who the Cowboys hired to be their head coach, was a very similar coach to McDermott. Always be competitive in a weak division during the regular season, but never won the big ones when it truly mattered. If the Bills are to win anything, they have to make a change at head coach because there's nothing more McDermott can do. All right, everybody. It's been real. It's been awesome as always. I'm checking out of here now. Take care. And please hit the subscribe button. We'll talk again very soon. You guys take care. Thanks for watching. Appreciate y'all.